Has arrived, everything's going to be okay, but it's not.
Well, it is kind of, but then, then you have an agenda.
He's doing it for the greater good.
Yeah, just put
greater
this chip in
good.
your head and you'll be okay.
We just want to know how to find you. We need you. We don't want you to get lost.
What drew you to this project?
You know what? I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of gaming. And anytime you can get a movie that's made from a game, you got to go do it, right? You have to do it. And I just knew I was going to have a lot of fun. And dealing in that surreal kind of world, and trying to bring an organic feel to it, and everything else is great.
Next time we gotta get you killing more zombies.
Yes. Yeah, more personal. I mean, I bombed a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, that's something. One of the things that you're known for is your very dulcet tone of voice, and he's, that voice can be very reassuring to people. But also, you had your own motives of ends justify the means, and we're going to do what we have to do to take care of it, regardless of, maybe if it's right or not in some people's eyes. And kind of, how did you approach that kind of the character and kind of his mindset on what he was going to do?
But that's one of the parts. It's one of the best things about being an actor is you get to play things that are not like yourself. So I had to really kind of, just sort of move past that, just go and get into the character. Because normally I would play the trustworthy, great stalwart guy. But this time, I had a little agenda, and I have to believe that it's for the better, it's for the good of all. Until I figure out that it's not.
That's one of the reasons we really wanted him for the role, is because the audience will automatically trust him when he arrives, and so you're not really expecting him to be the one who's maybe misleading the entire operation, and so we were really excited about that.
Well, in the video game world, I mean, I've never played the games. Is the general around, or is this something that's kind of grew out of the narrative?
Yeah, all the games have a big conspiracy element that usually is between the military and Phoenotrans. And kind of the government, corporations are always screwing everyone on the inside. One of the big villains in the game is General Hemlock, which you hear him talking to at the end of the film. So you kind of get the idea that he's part of a larger operation. So people who are fans of the games would realize where this kind of plugs in, because the film takes place between Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 3. So Dead Rising 3 explores everything that happens because of the chipping. Okay. And in Dead Rising 2, it's all because of the injections. So we kind of tell the story of what happened in between. And General Hemlock has a big part in Dead Rising 3 about kind of everyone starting a revolution against the chipping.
Yeah, cause I think, and also I think I watched little snippets afterwards with Virginia Madsen talking about. She mentioned Zombrex and her son. What? It's like in the lexicon now. Just the
Zombrex is one of the. I mean, there's so much zombie stuff out there, and the concept of a drug that keeps you human for 24 hours is really unique, and one of the things that really made the film different. Because in the game, it's a game mechanic. You have to keep getting it so that you can get through the game and not die, or get it for your daughter so she doesn't die. But we really wanted to explore the character ramifications of that. Like, if you have a disease inside of you, and you can stay human, but if you miss one dose, you're going to turn into a monster. Like, what does that do to you? What does that do to the people around you? How do they treat you? And there's all zombie movies are always in a metaphor for some other type of social cause, social issue that's going on. I thought the Zombrex side of it was really cool for me.
And you hit a nerve with, right now they all talk about vaccinations.
Yeah,
and
or vaccinations, or Ebola, or HIV. Like, there's tons of that kind of fear about what's inside people, and how you treat them. They're there's a line in the film that we kind of used as our kind of guiding light for the scenes, which is it keeps you human, but it takes your life. Because you're kind of like still alive, but everything that you hold on to is gone. So
Everyone, at least the last interview, we were talking about the movie set up a sequel. Is that in your mind when you were doing this? Are you prepared for a sequel?
I mean, obviously the reception so far has been really great, which is awesome. Like, it's been the highest watch thing that Crackle's ever had. It's already had millions of views in the last 8 days. So it's doing really well, and we obviously left it open for where the story could go next. So I think that would be the ambition, but obviously there's a lot of things that have to happen. Got to get some weapons in his hand.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Can you talk about the benefits of having this project at Crackle?
Yeah, I mean, the two biggest things were there were not the traditional restrictions of, like, there was no ratings board online, there's no running time issues, it's kind of like you can just put whatever you think is best for this content up there, which was totally freeing for us. And then the other thing is the audience is there already. Like, everyone, all the people that love this game and are of that kind of world, they don't have televisions, they don't have, like, they're all just consuming stuff on their PlayStation or their Xbox or on their streaming service. Like, they're all kind of already digital, so being able to just deliver it to them and it be free. So, like, 14-year-olds who love the game can just watch it right away is pretty revolutionary, and I think that's why it's had such a big response so far.
Well, I love the scenes with Rob. I want the outtakes. Of that.
Totally. There's hours and hours. Like, it was so hard to cut down to, like, because the film's already obviously long, but it was like we have hours of Rob and Carrie, who played Susan, going on and on and on and on. But we were like kept cutting it down. Even in the trailer, there's parts of jokes that weren't in the final film. It was just like every second had to be pulled out to make it just, as paced as well as it could. But there's some amazing jokes that they came up with. 'Cause a lot of it was improvised.
That was my favorite moment. So there's Rob just like, he has no shame.
Totally. Yeah.
And one of the things, I know Megan's not here, but Megan twice has played someone who has a creature inside of her that wants to eat people. But I liked the fact about her character. She's kind of the linchpin for a lot of things, is that she's kind of the human, she's the special one.
Yeah.
And then everybody around her kind of adjusts due to her actions. And I was just wondering how it was. Did you kind of put that forward and think, okay, we're going to have this one person in the middle who's all these actions are trying to get her out and get that information out, while there are other people trying to, keep that information closed?
Yeah, it came quite organically. Really, the beginning of it was trying to have someone personify those issues I was talking about with Zombrex, someone that represented that as a character, so that we didn't have to just talk about those issues, we could literally show someone going through them. And then that meant she'd been through an outbreak before, so we made that this Dead Rising 2 outbreak. And then that just kind of loved the fact that meant that our hero, Jesse, kind of had to follow around this girl because she's the one who had been through it all before.
It wasn't creepy at all.
Yeah. And then, but then it just gives human stakes to that idea
Right.
of what it is to live with the virus, so that's why we had her.
And kind of a different tone. You said you are a big gamer and you like playing video games. What are some of your favorite video games?
I like the sports games a lot, of course. I like Dead Rising. I like that because it's guilt free.
Yes.
But then I love some of the Grand Theft. But that still gets into that area where you're running over people in the street. So, I'm sorry. But it's all it's just all great fun, and you find yourself getting pulled into this kind of world. I mean, it's done so well, and you almost feel like you're out on the streets of LA. They call it Las Perdidos, so I think that's
Las Perdidas.
or Perdidos, but it's LA. You see all these kind of landmarks. It's just kind of it's getting a little too real.
It was fun for us because we
But
could
it's
literally
fun.
just drive around
Yeah.
the video game and be like, all right, so we're going to do this. And then, like, me and my art director would just, like, move around.
Yep.
Art directing
Awesome.
in the game.
Well, thank you.
You're supposed to be